So I've just come in from a run, and if you are a fairly active person, whether that's running or cycling or walking or team sports, um, or fitness classes, you will probably feel tension and fatigue in the same areas of the body, and that will be around the hips, fronts of the thighs, hamstrings, and that all plays into the lower back, pulls on the muscles of the lower back. So we will be addressing some of those areas today in our short yoga session. And this is some positions I often use myself daily to combat a lot of the tension that I feel. So if you're able to sit in a cross-legged position, come down to the floor. You can actually do a lot of these on a chair. And if that is difficult for you, if you feel like you're having to really grip onto your knees, sit on a pillow, or if you've got yoga blocks, sit on those. And that just really helps to have the hips higher than the knees. Or you can bring something underneath the knees to support, whatever. And try and sit really nice and tall here. So get a sense of pressing down through your hips, growing up through the crown of your head, and just taking awareness into how the body is feeling right now and accepting it. Just noticing without judging any sensations, tension. Try to let go of frustrations, although if you have those, any frustrations, wishing the body was feeling a bit different, that's just being human. Accepting that as well. And then take a deep breath in through the nose, down the whole front of the body, into the belly. Bring your hand to your belly. Press the belly into the hand as you breathe in. So the belly comes out as you breathe in. Exhale, pull the belly button away from your hand. Inhale, the belly into the palm. Go a little taller through the spine. Exhale, soften the belly away, release the shoulders from the ears. Inhale slowly. Exhale even slower. One more. Slow exhale. The reason we connect with the breath is partly because it helps take you out of any busy chatter in the mind, but actually slowing and deepening the breath, particularly the exhales, scientifically it actually signals to the body to relax, and that means the muscles as well, so that we're more able to lengthen, stretch and move into the releases that we need. Okay, but we are going to continue to anchor our movement with the breath, our minds to the breath, bodies to the breath. This time hands just alongside the hips. Inhale, arms up, fingers active. Exhale, palms down, release the shoulders from the ears. Hands still active, not floppy arms. Inhale, strong arms. Press through the hips, squeeze the belly in. Exhale. Inhale, growing, expanding. Reaching shoulders away from ears. Exhale. Now we're adding on. So inhale. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, back through the middle. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale. Sitting tall, reaching. Exhale a little deeper. So slide that right hand away. Press the left hip down. Try to keep the top of your arm near your ear. Inhale, middle. Exhale. Inhale through the middle. Slide a little deeper, slide that right hand away. And drop your right shoulder away from your ear. And let the head be heavy. Look down at your side. Keep lengthening and reaching through the left side, from the left hip to the fingertips. Inhale. other side. Slide the left hand away, press the right buttock down, let the head be heavy, and drop that left shoulder away from the ear. Look down and reach. Get a lovely stretch to the side there, the side of the hip maybe. Come back to the middle. Interlace the hands, take them to the back of the head. We're going to stretch through the chest, so just lift the chin, press into the hands, elbows back. Deep breath across the collarbones. Exhale, release. Another deep breath in, lift the chin a little more, press the elbows back. Exhale, tuck the chin in and pull with your thumbs the back of the skull towards the crown. Elbows round, tuck the chin in and really round the back, sort of arching, sagging at the back, tucking the pelvis under. Get a good stretch there. Inhale, come back up. And we're going to twist. We're going to take the left hand behind us, right hand to our right thigh. Look over the left shoulder. Now use that right hand on your left thigh as traction to draw the shoulders round. Then pull the shoulders away from the ears. Back through the middle. The side round. Drop the shoulders down. Left hand on right thigh. Draw the shoulders round. Back to the middle. Take the hands behind you, interlace the hands or hold the forearms, roll the shoulders back and down. Draw the chin in so you're not pressing your chin forward. And draw the knuckles down to the floor. Take the hands round, let's go to the right side of the waist. If you can bring that elbow in, great. If you can't, don't worry. And then pull that left shoulder down as we take the right ear to the right shoulder. And roll the chin up, roll it down for all the different tendons in the neck. If you find a sweet spot or something that feels really good, just hang there. Let the head be heavy, drop the shoulders. And then lift the chin back through the middle, take the arms round to the other side, hug that elbow in, drop the left ear down, pull the right shoulder down, roll the chin up, tuck the chin down, look at the armpits, find a sweet spot, stay there. Bring the chin back to the middle. Take it back through and release the arms. Okay, so we're going to come off our hips now. We're going to come into child pose. And I'm looking for a timer. Have I got it? Have I got it? No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my breath. It's quite nice to have a clock so you can time the stretches. You want to hold them for about a minute, certainly at least 30 seconds to give the body a chance to change really and to really take on board that stretch and make a physiological change in the muscles. You can sit back on your heels, and then slide your hands forward, keeping the hips on the heels. If they lift, this might be a good time to bring a pillow under the hips or a block. Slide the hands forward, and again have a pillow or block handy because we want to drop our head through our arms. That's not always possible to get the forehead to the mat, and that's where a block or a cushion is good. If you're not getting much of a stretch to the shoulders, draw the elbows together. So the tighter the elbows are towards each other, the more of a stretch you get, the more intense it is. If you're finding that too much, take the hands wider. So active hands, so the fingers crawl in one direction and the tailbone, the hips press back in the other. Deep breath into the back, across the shoulder blades, into the space between the shoulder blades. So expanding there. Exhale, press the hips back, breathe into the lower back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften the chest towards the mat, let the head be heavy. Breathe into the lower back. Exhale, release. And just be a witness now with your own body, your own breath. A few seconds of silence. Lift the head, look at the hands, walk the hands back. Okay, fantastic. Okay, well then we'll come into a little squat position, which I find really useful because I have really tight ankles and calves. So my heels won't go down to the floor. So I need a block or a pillow underneath. And I can't actually sit very tall in this position. A lot of it is anatomical rather than flexibility. You might have the same issues. So toes out, take the feet quite wide, they're at least as wide as your hips. And we're going to try and sit nice and tall, so on our fingertips, and drop that tailbone down. You can press your arms into the inner thighs to broaden through the thighs. So we're getting a hip stretch here, but also a real lower back stretch. Okay, just focus on the breath. I'm not going to stay here too long. And then we're going to walk the hands forward, so we're getting a slightly different back stretch now. Tuck the chin in, so the hands are going to be traction, drawing the shoulders forward. Keep pulling the hips back and down, but draw your chin into your chest for a beautiful back stretch. And the head be really heavy, shoulders drop away from the ears. Top of the arms rotating slightly outward. Okay, lovely, lift the head, walk the hands back. And we're going to come on to our backs. So I'm going to be mindful as we come onto our backs, come onto our side first. So drop the knees to one side, come into the fetal position, and then come onto your backs. So look kind of the back. Arms by your sides. And just check that the knees, the hips, the shoulders all feel square. I'm just going to start with a few pelvis moves, a sort of cat and cow on the floor. So lift the lower back up, press the belly up, press the hips, then the lower back, the hips down, tailbone down, and then squeeze the lower back to the floor, pull the tailbone up, and then down, mobilising the lower back a little. And from here, we're going to go into a bridge. So anchor through the hands, the backs to the shoulders. Keep that movement. So we take a breath in. Exhale. Now we're pressing the lower back down. As we do, the tailbone starts to lift. We're going to move with that lift, press into the heels, and then breathe in as the rest of the spine peels off the mat. Keep the knees in line with the hips. A little space between the chin and the chest. And then slowly roll down again. Think about the vertebrae being articulated. Imagine taking each vertebrae down one at a time. Do the same thing again. Release everything down to the mat. Relax. Inhale into the belly. The belly lifts, expands. Exhale, pelvic floor, belly in. Lift up through the hips. Clickety click. And then exhale, slowly back down. Okay, lovely. Lengthen the left leg away and draw the right knee into the chest. Hug it at the shin. Pull it in. Notice how this feels. And we'll use this position to just mobilise the ankles a little bit. So depending on our activity, they may have got a little tense, stiff, so flexing, extending, plantar flexion, dorsal flexion, or whatever technical words are, and then rotating back the other way. Clickety click, mine go. Okay, wriggle the toes. Now, ground through that right hip, so you hug the right knee over towards the left shoulder for a stretch in the piriformis. It's a tiny muscle in the buttock that gets very tight. And create back pain, sciatica, all sorts of problems. And now we're going to go into a rotation. So take your right hand out and really anchor that hand down. as we drop the knee over, and we're coming onto the outside edge of our left leg. The foot might come all the way across, probably feel it in your lower back, your hip, I certainly am. If you want to bring a block underneath or a pillow, that can be really nice actually. And then we're going to twist, we're going to look over to our right hand. Turn the palms up so the shoulders drop away from the ears. I'm going to hold for 5 breaths here. Lovely. I just wanted to check while you're here that your hip and your left heel are in line as much as possible. Also with this shoulder, because that leg can drag forward. And now if you have the flexibility, you might be able to play with straightening that right leg out a little bit. So now we're getting more of a stretch through the outer hamstring. Okay, lovely. Bend the knee back, come back onto your back, bring the arm in, and then just square the hips. Straighten the right leg down, draw the left shin in, hug it in. Press down through the left hip, and then pull it towards the right shoulder. Stretch across that hip area, into the buttock, maybe into the lower back. Keep the shoulders pulled back and down. And now we're going to take it across the body, anchoring through the left hand, coming onto the outer side of our right leg. Turn to look at the left hand. Now slowly extend that left foot. Hamstring stretch. I'm going to adjust a little bit. One side might be very different to the other. Remember, we're looking for sensation, not pain. So I'm feeling a little bit of pain here, so I'm being mindful. A bit of pain in the lower back. Turn the palm up, drop the shoulder down. Okay, lovely, slowly roll back onto your back. Bring the foot down, adjust the hips so they're in line with the shoulders. I'm going to squeeze the knees in now. Wrap your arms around your shins and pull the shins down towards your chest. Now, if your neck is pulling up as your shoulders lift, or because of the nature of perhaps a curvature in the upper spine and your shoulders, your chin is pulling back. It'd be really helpful to bring a cushion just underneath the head to keep the neck in line. It's the same for any of the positions we do on the floor. The chin is up or having to lift. Squeeze those shins in, down. Press the hips away. Press the lower back into the mat. You might want to roll from side to side. A little circle. Back the other way. Okay, drop the left foot down. And we're going to rotate the right thigh out and bring the right foot as high up on the left thigh as you can. Flex the foot, protects the knee, and then press your right thigh away. Ideally not on the right knee, but in the hip crease, because then you're pressing the lower back, the right side of the lower back into the mat at the same time, grounding there. And you might want to stay there, or if you want to deepen it, lift the left foot, hug around the thigh, or even round the shin for the most intense stretch. Make sure the chin's not pulling back. Mine is starting to do that. Draw the chin in, adjust the back of the head. Release the shoulders into the mat. breath in. Slow breath out. Now we can stay in this position, but if you have the flexibility, take the right leg even further over the left. It helps to drop the left leg away, like you're crossing your legs. And then you're going to draw both the knees into the middle, the sternum, keep them central, and pull the shins in towards you and the ankles slightly out to the side. So if you're holding the ankles, pull them away from each other. If you're holding the shins, pull them into your belly. You might feel a stretch through the right buttock here, piriformis stretch slightly more intensely. This isn't accessible, stay with the figure of 4, which we were doing just before I moved into this. Inclined eagle. Okay, release the shins. Take them back, the feet back to the floor. You might want to just drop the knees from side to side. And now bringing the left foot up, rotate it out. Bring it onto the top of the right hip, press away. If you want to go deeper, lift the heel, hold at the back of the leg or the shin. Keep pressing the left thigh away, the left foot towards you. And the lower back firm on the mat. Tailbone away. You can stay here or drop the right knee a little and slide the left thigh. So the thighs are hugging each other, the knees are stacked upon each other. Hug those thighs and in line with the middle of the chest. Draw the legs in towards you or the ankles out to the side. Shoulders back and down. Lovely, take both feet back to the mat. Unravel the legs, arms out to the side, palms up, and then just drop the knees from side to side, just mobilising the lower back. Or deepen the twist. That feels like an inviting thing to do. Make it a little more juicy by dropping the knees a little further. Try to keep the arms anchored onto the mat. Oh, clickety click, and back to the middle. Okay, so we're going to go into the fronts of the thighs a little now, and we're going to roll onto our side. This, come to the sides, knees stacked, knees in line with the hips, and you can just prop yourself up with your shoulder. But just check the hips are stacked, and we don't want to roll open with this, but we're going to take the top leg back and see if you can reach with it with your hand. And then use the hand to pull the heel back and up. Now what might happen is your lower back might arch. So I really want you to squeeze the glutes here. So press that right hip forward. That will stop your lower back arching to accommodate the tightness in your hamstrings. So push the hips forward. So you pull the leg back. Now you can stay here, or you have an option to drop that leg down. You feel quite a nice stretch, and it will wedge behind this leg. And then come onto your elbows, and we're going to gently come into a twist here. So turning towards the top of the mat. Feel the lengthen through this hip, through the psoas, the belly. And you might even want to make a little pillow for your head and just relax down into it, which can be very lovely. Long, deep, slow breaths. See if you can relax that right hip a little further. Let the right leg be really heavy. Right shoulder, right elbow. Right foot. It's heavy. The right ankle, shin and calf, soft and heavy. The right knee, magnetically drawn into the mat. Drawing the breath up through the right hip, the right thigh. Okay. Come back onto your elbows if you haven't already. Restack the knees. Walk yourself up. And I'm not going to turn my back on you. I'm going to turn around this way. You might want to just flip round to the other side. So coming onto this side, elbows and hips in line, knees 90 degrees. Take that leg back, find the top of the foot, squeeze the buttocks. Okay, so it's initial stretch there. So it's like recline to dancer. And if you want to relax into it, drop that left foot behind the right calf. The right calf is going to wedge it down. And then twist, gently twist, be mindful of the lower back. So the shoulders are in line with the top of the mat. And let that left hip be really heavy and drop. I want to come down onto your hands. Deepen the breath. Let the left leg be really heavy. It's very easy to hang on tension there. Sometimes the body forgets to let go or how to let go. It can be quite not an automatic thing at all or a conscious thing. Happens when it happens. One way we can make it more likely that it will happen is to just bring the attention into the breath and focus on the exhalation. Big, slow exhalation. Coming back out of it the same way we went into it. The hands back, stack the legs. Okay, I'm going to come up to seated for our last pose, which is going to be for the hamstrings, an area I find really challenging constantly. So yeah, this is a block. You can use a block or a pillow. And if you have tight hamstrings, sit on a pillow cushion. I'm going to bring the block underneath my thighs to start off with, or under my knees and thighs, because I would want to keep the tension out the lower back. I want to think about bringing the belly to the thighs, and for me to do that, to hinge forward, my knees need to be bent. But to get a relaxation through the legs for them to self-support, you need something underneath. Okay, so look at your toes flex towards you. Think about bringing the middle of your chest towards the toes, and that will make you hinge at the hips. And then you can just tuck the chin in. Make sure the hands are supported on your shins or the floor. Long, slow, deep breaths. So you might feel this in the lower back or the shoulders, more the backs of the legs, or even in the buttocks, wherever you feel it. Through the back of the body is where you feel it. So stretching the whole back of the body here. Any sharp pains, gently move out of the pose a little until you feel the body relax again. But there's just a sensation, a sense of opening. Stay with it. Exhales, dropping the belly to the thighs. Inhales, draw the chest forward, the hips back. Drop the ears away from the shoulders. Gently spin the tops of the arms out. Let the elbows be heavy. Let the thighs be heavy. The calves are heavy. The knees are heavy. And if this is very easy for you, you might want to drop the brick a little, or if you're moving into it and finding more space in your body, drop it down a notch, or you might want legs completely flat. But make sure you're not rounding the back like this. The shoulders drawn down, chest forward. Another option is to bring it under the head, under the chest, chin, whatever feels good. Okay, we're going to end with a slightly different stretch to the shoulders. You can either draw the fingers to the big toes, pull them back. That works into the ankles and the calves too. Give the tops of your shoulders a stretch here. So we're going to let you round where you need to. And then pull your elbows out. You might get a stretch underneath the armpit there. Or cross them for a deeper stretch. And again, press the elbows away from each other. Swap the cross. Okay, release the feet, slowly come back up. Take the hands behind you just for a counter stretch. Bring the feet towards you and just press the hips up, knees over ankles. You can bring your chin to your chest, lovely. And we're just going to do a final stretch through the wrists and through the ankles. I said that was our last. I famously tell fibs. Okay, so sitting on your knees, take the hands behind you. You might want to bring one knee up and then the other, or bring both knees up. So you're getting a big stretch through the fronts of the ankles here. Hug the knees in, shoulders back. I have a lot of extension in my ankles. So I'm able to do this, but I can't take them very far the other way. That's why I struggle in squats. It's just anatomically how I am. You might be the other way, and that's fine. Okay, bring the knees down, and we're just going to end with a final child pose. Wide knee child pose, knees to the edge of the mat. Slide the hands forward, drop the chest down. Pull the inside to the thighs back, The inside of the hips back towards your heels, reach the arms forward. And then soften the arms, the elbows, the shoulders. Soften the lower back. Long, deep, slow breath. Walk the hands back towards you. I'm just going to end with Shavasana. So for that, you can do it seated if you prefer, but ideally we're coming into what's called corpse pose, which isn't as grim as it sounds. It's lying on your back, so come onto your side, roll onto your back. And if you do have lower back pain, it might be helpful to have the knees up, let them fall into each other. Remember what I said about the position of the neck? You might want a cushion under your neck. Palms up, let the eyes close. And just adjust the body so it feels comfortable and balanced, aligned. And then close the eyes. Breathe in through the nose, into the belly, lifts to the ceiling. Exhale, release the belly down towards the mat. Inhale, all the way into the belly. Feel it expand, push against your clothes. Exhale, release and soften the body, drop it into the mat. Inhale, into the belly, then the ribs move apart. Exhale, soften the ribs and the belly. Continue to breathe deeply all the way into the lower abdomen. Exhale slowly and let the body become softer and heavier with each breath out. Breathe in, feel the body lift. Exhale, feel the body drop, surrender. 2 more deep breaths. Then let the breath return to whatever pace or depth or rate it feels it needs in this moment. Just check in with it. No right or wrong. Just bring awareness to the body as you lie here. The energy of the body. If it feels calm, tense, energized, peaceful. No right or wrong, just observing. Notice the parts of the body, contact with the mat, feet, heels, backs of the arms, shoulders, back of the head. And drop the shoulders a little further deeper into the mat. Let the elbows, backs of the hands be a little heavier. Let the lower back release and expand. Let the legs be heavy and soft. Awareness to the shape of the body. The length of the body from the big toe to the crown of the head. hand to hand, heel to heel, shoulder to shoulder. And the depth, how far it lifts from the mat, how that undulates and changes through the landscape of your own body. Notice the parts of the body that are warm, parts that are cooler, and the parts that move subtly with the breath. Relax the jaw, the tongue, muscles around the eyes, front of the throat. Let the fingers curl, the belly soften, the fronts of the shoulders roll back and down. And just be still with your body just as it is for a minute more. And you can stay here for a little longer, or you can roll onto one side. Slowly bring yourself up to a comfortable position. And be kind to yourselves today. Be mindful of your mental health as much as your physical, because they all feed into each other. Namaste.